flop around.
No.
This was for kids, no matter what your condition, if you wanted to try, you got a shot.
They were serious, these kids.
And in the start, they wanted to limit it to white people and stuff, didn't they?
Right.
And you fought that one.
We fought it well, and it didn't work because we got all our nationalities involved.
And I want people to understand, because I've been to Whitney with Richard. You know, they're talking about you need all these fancy damn campuses. Tell the public about what Whitney High School is. It's like a box with movable walls, isn't it?
Yeah, it started out as a movable wall school, and I was involved in suggesting movable walls, which we put in. Therefore, we could move a teacher from one room to another very easily and let them teach in a new setting.
And reconfigure the school for whatever you needed that year.
That's right.
And it's the simplest, dumbest place I've ever seen. And you get the highest level of education out of the simplest, dumbest school I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean in that sense. I'm talking about without any fancy damn stuff.
No.
It's teachers and staff and students and parents that make this place go.
That's right.
With full community support.
That's right.
Especially now that it's a proven entity.
Right.
Just like what Iris Stevenson at Crenshaw's been doing. In the middle of a bad situation, right? Mm-hmm. So we want to make sure that you teachers and everybody else out there, I hope you listen real closely to what we're talking about here about UTLA. Because if you don't know where you came from, teachers, you don't know anything. And you people have lost your way. So you better pay attention to this man here and figure out who you are and where you came from. And this ain't hard to figure out. Go read your history. If you don't know your history, you don't know anything. And it's time we know who we are and where we're coming from and where we want to go. And the fact that these programs that this man and other great people put themselves on the line because they're ready to throw you guys in the federal pen for a while, weren't they?
They were.
They did not like you people rattling the cage, did they?
They did not.
So I'm wondering about these teachers now. What are they so afraid of? They got all this protection and stuff. You guys didn't have any protection, did you? They could do with you what they wanted back then, no matter what, right?
Well, there has been a history of teachers not having any say during recent years. So they're controlled. And they do pretty much what they're told to do.
And this is because the union has let them down.
Right.
And in my opinion, the teachers have let themselves down.
Right.
They own that union. They vote these people in. They're the ones that don't vote, don't go to the board, and don't get up and stop this when it's their business. Personally, I'm getting tired of teachers giving me trash when I'm the one that's been out protecting them. Mm-hmm. I'm the only one that's ever had them audited for falsely charging them with child abuse. They didn't help with any of this.
They don't even appreciate what you're doing.
No, I've been threatened by them a lot of times,
Most
Richard.
of them don't know all you're doing.
They couldn't care less.
No.
Give me my paycheck and the hell with it. That's where they're at. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying all of them.
Oh yeah, but too many.
Because the ones that we deal with who are retributed on, to me, they're the cream of the crop because the only reason they got in trouble is they stuck their neck out for their kids. And what you guys tried to do when you formed UTLA is to protect teachers, to protect the education situation, to improve it so that education of our youth gets better, so that they learn to really think, critical thinking, right?
Right.
To learn real history, how the government works.
You just summarized exactly what we were hoping to do.
And right now, with 117,000 students not in school, they want an almost 18% raise, and they don't care if their teachers that got laid off don't come to school. Because public, I want you to understand something. 117,000 students didn't come to LA Unified every day last year. They lost $1.25 billion in revenue because of this. You only get paid for those who come. That would make the 23rd largest school district in the United States, people. You're talking about 5,000 teaching jobs. You need administrators. You need custodians. You need cafeteria people. You need the people to fix the stuff and everything else. This might be 15,000, 20,000 jobs. And the unions don't even care about their own people getting their jobs back. Or they'd be pushing to get these kids back, huh, Richard?
They would.
Not only would we get those kids back, what do we get as a win in societally when we get them off the street, right?
When you take one of those kids off the street, put him in the classroom, he generates money that goes back into the classroom to help the whole school.
Not only that, instead of them being on the street being little gangsters, we start creating a citizen who might stay out of trouble, right?
That's right.
Now, Sheriff Baca, who just left the Sheriff's Department, instituted a program in which he has 50% of his 18,000 jailed people now in 7 hours a day of education classes. Inside of the 7 hours a day is a period of time what they call lifestyle management. In other words, it's anger management. How do you get along with people at work? How do you stay out of trouble? How do you get along with your family so you don't get divorced and have problems with your kids and stuff? Do you know that where he institutes this, almost no violence inside the jails and a 40% drop in recidivism?
That's what we did. We stopped all the violence and all the problems related to gang warfare.
Then you got to ask yourself the question, Richard. Why aren't these people continuing these programs? Do they really want a crazy world?
I don't think so.
Then what is their mental problem?
They just don't understand. They simply don't understand.
Do you really think it's that? I don't.
Well, I do.
I think it's a plan to create a crazy society myself. You can't do something. Smart people can't be this stupid. You can buy and sell them. That's not a problem. Like right now with iPads and all these other technology things. They've spent about $1 billion in the state illegally buying them with bond funds. They're paying now $2,355 a piece. It's not an accident. It's not because they don't know what they're doing. It's because they're going out to bankrupt every school district in the United States, privatize them, and that's the end of public education.
They want to privatize education.
This is how they're going to do it.
That's how they're going to do it.
And these people are really not happy that I
And
figured this out.
They've got to be stopped.
Yes, that's why I don't believe any of this is an accident. The replacement of Marguerite Lamont, the board member, is being done illegally against Attorney General opinion, a page of state law, and 2 U.S. Supreme Court decisions. You can't tell me there's an accident. You can't tell me there's an accident about buying the iPads when I've given these people the law on both of them. I've gone to the Attorney General, and the Attorney General's running from their own opinions. You have to ask the question, why? In other words, why do they write opinions if they don't care to enforce them? Because we're a lawless country, Richard.
That's right.
And what we got to do, and the teachers stupidly have been a party to this.
Part of it.
Because they are the ones who've let it get this far. They're the ones that fixed it when you guys were there, okay? Now they've gotten sloppy, and they're helping them crash the system, actually, as far as I'm concerned.
They're helping.
And this is the reason that we're doing this video with a man who's the primary founder of this. And if you want to check it out, Bill Lambert's still alive, right? Mm-hmm. Didn't you mentor Bill Lambert?
I did.
And just last year, he left UTLA as head of government relations, right?
Yeah, I backed him strongly to be the key person in UTLA.
And every time I see Bill Lambert, he says hi, I say hi to Richard for him. And the same with Julie Cornstein, a former board member.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because we got a mess in there right now. Because the board members, along with the superintendent, who by the way, public, has a phony PhD, okay,
But
they couldn't care less about the law.
I'm trying to concentrate on a few key things that'll bring it back to what it was.
Well, tell us what that is. We need to know from the old pro.
The key things are things like, how do you lower the class sizes at elementary school?
Mm-hmm.
How do you get these kids to leave their gang?
Or not join in the first place.
Right, or not join. But not joining isn't as important as getting them into the system as students, good students, and not gang students. So what we have to do is offset the bad that goes on and make more of the situation better.
Doesn't some of this have to do with you have to appeal to their interests?
We have to always appeal to
And that's constantly changing, isn't it?
Yes.
See, and a thing that bothers me too is we've taken away trade classes from these kids. We just recently learned that no inner-city schools have computer technology classes. They're going to give these kids these computers and not teach them how to use them. I mean, this is like stupid world to me.
Well, the key thing that I did personally was to start vocational education classes throughout the entire district.
And now they've destroyed it, Richard. And let's tell the public this. Public, the average person with a bachelor's degree makes about $55,000 a year. Alexis Mercedes, Cadillac mechanic, makes about $120,000, okay? Now the guy who has a bachelor's degree, job is getting offshore to India, China, Russia, Vietnam, you name it, all the time. Are you going to pull a guy in from China to fix your car? I don't think so. Or to plumbing in your house or electrical? The fact that we are saying to kids, every kid's going to go to college. Every kid is not a desk jockey, right? I'm an odd combination. I use my hands and my head. I work them both. There aren't a lot of people that way that I see out there. It's not a mass numbers. So some people are attuned to doing in the office, and some people, that doesn't get them. And what the teachers tell me of these trade classes is if you get a kid in there who say wants to be a CNC operator or something, he'll learn English and math so he can do what he wants to do, right? Now, why are we robbing these kids of really good jobs, most of them union, with really high pay, with really good benefits, and killer retirement packages? Why are they wiping that out? It's like, to me, it's like they're doing everything they can to kill everything. And teachers should be fighting this, really. First of all, they're losing their jobs. Second of all, they're not being successful at their job. Because you got to motivate these kids, don't you?
You better.
Okay, so I guess we need to wrap this up here a little bit. We got about 40 minutes in this, Richard. And give us any last statements you want to make about what we should be doing here to fix this mess.
Well, we need to keep organizing teachers and students together to help them to improve their own school classroom and their own school. It's crucial that we help them and get someone that can help them. And that's what I'm going to keep working on and hope I can do a better job.
Really good, Richard. And this is The first in a series of videos on education we're going to do with Richard Arthur. We're going to go in the future into more in a series with the old pro on what education is supposed to be, what we're missing now, and we're seeing right now that it started being fixed, and now everybody's throwing everything into the trash can that's good again. And like was said a long time ago, if you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it, right?
That's right.
And Richard, thank you very much for this interview.
Thank
and I've
you.
been waiting a long time to do this.
Thank you for inviting me.
And it's a very critical time with the union elections going on and all this crazy business down there in the education world.
Okay.
And here we go. And we're going to do another one here soon. Thank you, Bob.